We cannot any longer depend on a benevolent white person in office to look out for our needs. That responsibility is ours. We got black people in power, but they don't have power. We got black people with money. We have black people with money that we think are giants, but in the company of their white counterparts, they are midgets. Now, if we want to get where we want to go, we can't focus on the house that has rejected us and our fathers for 400 years. We have to now focus on ourselves. Now follow this and I'm out of here. I'm complete. Now a word to Africa. I'm your brother, and it makes me sick to see Prime Minister Blair offer Africa $40 billion in debt relief, and we applaud this.
Grand Rising Kings and Queens, welcome back to my YouTube space. Now, before I begin, let me thank you deeply for your love, support, and consistency. Every view, every like, every share is a step forward in a black awakening, because we are doing something. For you sharing this video to youths, to aged people, it's a plus, because everyone is learning. I love you all, and may the ancestors bless our journey towards liberation. Now, today I'm diving deep into a message that still echoes with truth and urgency. A message that was delivered by one of the most powerful black leaders of our time, or of your time, Minister Luois Farakhan. Back in 2005, if I'm not wrong, because the video I'm going to play for you, it was from 2005, during the historic Million More movement. Minister Farakhan stood before the world and gave black people a warning that we must stop depend on white power structure and do for us what we have the power to do for ourselves. And this statement was not just a wake-up call, it was a prophecy. And now in 2025, everything he said is happening right in front of us. Before I continue, I want you to watch the video that it was back then in 2005, and it's still, because I told you I started watching Luois Farakhan back in 2019, and he's the one who changed my mind and be a Pan-African. Even the 2005 video, it means a lot to me. I want you to watch this clip, and then we come back with the more commentary.
Having listened carefully to all of my wonderful brothers and sisters, I recognize that the thing that is missing is not the genius that is present or the genius that is absent, but the thing that is missing is the unity of us as a people. My beloved brother, Mr. Frazier, articulated some magnificent economic truths that can be realized fully by the unity of us as a people. My sister talked about education and health issues. We cannot any longer depend on a benevolent white person in office to look out for our needs. That responsibility is ours. Now, whether my brother, Bishop Eddie Long, can visit the White House and speak on behalf of us, or whether the Reverend Jackson can visit the White House and speak on behalf of us, or any of us.
They haven't invited me, Mr. They haven't invited me.
Oh, well, you're on your way though, brother, for sure. When you can assemble us like this, you are a very important man. The few points that I want to make is based on what I heard. My sister with the union, she wants to be at the right table at the right time to talk about the right issues where workers are concerned. Everyone at this table, my dear sister, talked about policy and community. Reverend Lowry and Reverend Sharpton brilliantly defined for us really the crux of the matter. Here's what I see. Respectfully, Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand. But power won't even concede to a demand if the demand is coming from a weak constituency that looks like they've lost their testicular fortitude. Careful now. Careful. I'm a Baptist preacher too. But listen, family, listen. The generational gap is serious. But it's written of in Scripture. When Moses gathered the people in the wilderness, he spied the promised land. But there were some giants in the promised land. And the people were asked, go in, we're with you. They said, wait a minute, God. We would go, but the giants are there. They had no faith that they could take the land from the giants. So what did God say? Okay, you wander in the wilderness till you die out. And I will take your children and they will inhabit the promised land. Martin Luther King said, I've been to the mountaintop. I have seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get there when we separate from a pharaohic idea of mental slavery. Our children, listen, our children cannot eat at the table of illusion and hypocrisy. Most of us who have access, who have wealth, who have quote unquote positions, we are like mannequins in the shopping mall of democracy. When you go to the shopping mall, you see the mannequin. The mannequin is dressed in what you would like to buy. The mannequin can't talk. The mannequin can't walk. We got black people in power, but they don't have power. We got black people with money. We have black people with money that we think are giants, but in the company of their white counterparts, they are midgets. Now, if we want to get where we want to go, we can't focus on the house that has rejected us and our fathers for 400 years. We have to now focus on ourselves. Now follow this and I'm out of here. I'm complete. Follow this. President Bush, bless his heart, is worried about weapons of mass destruction. No dark nation should have a weapon of mass destruction. They have a fear. France got it. England got it. I think Germany may have something. South Africa has it. Israel has it. These are some of them, the former colonial masters. They have the right to have it, but don't give it to a darker power. We're worried about China has it. India has it. Lord have mercy. Pakistan got it. Korea was the axis of evil. Now Korea said, well, we got it. All of a sudden they fell off the screen. It's now Iran and Iraq. Well, if they are so afraid of weapons of mass destruction, my teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, said, our unity is more powerful than an atomic or hydrogen bomb. That's the one thing we have never tried. We've kneeled in, crawled in, prayed in, lied in, slept in, but still we are out. If you want to get what you want, we gotta start with a contract with us. A contract, a covenant with us. We in leadership make a covenant with your people that you will never sell them out. We as leaders, listen. We as leaders, so-called, must make a covenant with our people that nothing is more important than the salvation of a people who are now on a death march. While we're singing and dancing and popping our finger and shaking our backside to the world, we are on a death march into ovens, but not the same oven called Auschwitz, but it is a destruction coming to our people through bad health care, no health insurance, HIV, AIDS, drive-by shootings, gang conflict, crack cocaine. We are now become the enemy of ourselves. So we have to make a covenant. And in closing, in my conclusion, oh yes, I'm a Baptist preacher now. In my conclusion, in the 37th chapter of Ezekiel, there were some dry bones that were in a valley. And the bones were talking to one another. They were having a conversation about a contract. And as they were having this contract, some of the bones said, our hope is lost. Our bones are dried. We are cut off from our pot. There's some that are watching by television and some in this audience that think that we will never come together, that we will never make the right covenant or contract. I say to you, go back and read your scripture. Because when the Son of Man was set down in that valley that was full of bones, he spoke to those bones and the bones shook and the bones rattled. But they never stood up. So he went back to his sender and he said, Lord, I have spoken to the bones And nobody has spoken to the bones like black leaders and black preachers. Nobody speaks to the bones like a Reverend Jackson or a T.D. Jakes or Bishop Long or Bishop Patterson or Cornel West. And those of us that preach, Reverend Sharpton, the bones always listen. The bones shake. The bones rattle, but they never get up and they never do what they're supposed to do. So one generation dies and another generation is born, and we continue to run the same game. So the Son of Man went back to his sin and said, I've been talking. The bones been shaken, but there's still no life in them. He said, well, don't talk to the bones no more. Prophesy to the winds and let the winds blow on these bones. See, Bush is a wind. Your rejection at the table is a wind. My brother's going to dinner in the White House and can't come away with what is in the best interest of all our people. Jesse running twice, but still couldn't come away with what our people need. All of this is a farce. If we don't make up our minds today to make this contract, this covenant today, not with us and the Democratic Party, to hell with the Democrats and to hell with the Republicans.
Welcome back. That was the speech. The white power structure is not just about individual white people. It's about a system. It's about a design. Build, control, exploit, and dominate. And this white power structure includes government institutions that overpolice black neighborhood, educational systems that erase African history, media that criminalize black people and glorify whiteness, finances or financial systems that deny black people access to loans and capital, international aid program that keeps Africa dependent like IMF. White power structure is a global structure that keeps black people in chains, mentally, economically, and politically. And Farakhan understood this, and that's why they don't like him. That's why they don't like Luois Farakhan. That's why he said that we must build our own schools, on our own media. We must build our own businesses, our own political agenda. Otherwise, we are just begging our enemy to feed us while they poison the food. And that was not hate. It was the truth. It was survival, you know? And I believe, sadly, many people didn't listen in 2005. And some thought that Farakhan was too radical, too controversial, or too black, okay? But now, look what's happened, or look what happened. From 2005 to now, we have seen a lot. Mass incarceration explode even more. Police brutality continue with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Nicholas, and countless others. The wealth gap between black and white widen, with black families having 10 times less wealth than white families in America. Africa continues to be looted through IMF loans, corrupt trade deals, and puppet leaders supported by the West. Black culture, they get exploited while black people remain disrespected. And meanwhile, we kept voting, we kept marching, we kept hoping the system will change. But as Farakhan said, you can't reform a corrupt house. You must build your own house. But now in 2025, we are finally seeing what Farakhan said. Okay? We are finally seeing what Farakhan said, a global black awakening. Across the world, black people are rejecting the systems. In the US, black youths are turning away from mainstream politics and investing in black-owned businesses, black homeschoolings, and reparations conversations. Right now, in Africa, countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Nigeria are rising up. We are seeing this. And this is not a joke. It has taken a lot of years. From 2005 to 2025, it's more than 10 or 20 years has passed. But things is changing right now. We see black Americans moving to Ghana. We see black Americans going to Kenya. We see black Americans going to Tanzania, and they are building there and they are buying lands there. They are rejecting the American dream and choosing liberation. Even in places like Brazil, the Caribbean, and Europe, the black diaspora is rising up, reclaiming identity. and forming Pan-African movements and Pan-African networks. The Pan-Africanists from Africa, Caribbean, and Black American, they are uniting. And that was exactly, or this is exactly what Farakhan called for. Let us unite across the ocean and become one mighty black nation. And his voice is more relevant than ever. Okay? Now, and there's another part. There's another part of Farakhan's message that hits deep. It's called mental slavery. He said, and I quote, "You are still mentally enslaved if you think your salvation comes from the oppressor." Okay? So dependency is not just about money or aid. It's psychological. And many of us, black people, still feel like we need white approval for success. We still feel like we need white validation for our history. White institutions to divide what is smart, civilized, or right. And this is the most dangerous chain, the invisible one in the mind. And that's why black people still hesitate to build independence. That's why black people, we fear being too black, too radical, or too self-sufficient. And Farakhan said this, and I can quote for you, "Don't fear the boss, or don't fear the laws of what they give. Fear the laws of what you are born to create." Look at that. Don't fear the laws of the money they give to you. Don't fear the laws of the goodies they give to you, but fear the laws of what you are born to create. Farakhan didn't just criticize. He gave a clear blueprint for black people. Now, some of the solutions he laid out in 2005. Number one, it was economic independence, about building black businesses, getting black banks, and to stop spending with those that disrespect you. And he talked about land ownership. He urged that black people should buy land, especially in Africa. And I'm seeing that is happening. There's a young girl, there's a lady who have bought land here and built, and she's doing agriculture. There's another one has bought more than 300 acres of land. And they're growing food, they're building schools in Ghana and develop wealth. He gave a solution about black education, that to teach African history, to teach African value and African truth, not colonial lies. He talked about owning the narrative. We should own our own narrative as black people. We should write our own books. We know ourselves. And now we must ask ourselves that if we are ready to follow that. But I'm seeing that is happening. Black Americans are going to Ghana. Black Americans are going to Kenya. And they are building, they are buying lands. They are doing agriculture. They are building schools. They are building hospitals. Things are changing. Someone is asking, why are they going? They are going because the prophecy is being fulfilled. The prophecy that black people are the blueprint, and a day will come when they will come back to the motherland and own everything. Let me tell you, if black people unite from America to Africa, that means that the whites or the West does not have any power. The empire are going down. The empire are falling. So, despite the challenges, we are seeing signs of victory. Black-owned banks are growing. Afrobeats and black arts are dominating black culture. Young black people are starting businesses, farms, tech, and companies. Pan-African movements are spreading faster than ever online. And even black billionaires are talking about Africa as the future. And this is the time that Farakhan spoke. This is the season to rise. The more we let go of the white power structure, the more we gain control of our identity. The more we gain control of our destiny. And being real is that the system is watching. Every time we get close to independence, they try to divide us through media, through religion, immigration, gender wars, or class. And Farakhan warned black people. I will quote. He said this: "They will use every trick in the book to keep you from uniting. But once you are united, there is nothing they can do. Don't get so much comfortable. Don't get distracted. Stay focused on the mission. Build black, protect black, love black, think black, live black." That's what he said. And it is happening right now. It is happening. I'm so happy. I always say I'm so happy that I'm living a day where I'm seeing that black people are uniting across the world. Mr. Luois Farakhan was not a perfect match or a perfect man, but he was a truth teller. He was a warrior, a voice. He's still a warrior, a voice crying out in the wilderness. He told black people in 2005 what will happen, and he was right. Now it's up to us to complete the vision. Let's stop depending on the white power structure and build our own power. Because the truth is simple. No one will save black people. No one will save us but us. And we have everything that we need. Our mind, our unity, our history, our faith, our land, our ancestors, and each other. It's our time. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for rising. Thank you for loving your blackness. Let's keep pushing, and because the future is black, as I always say, and that future starts today. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe to Kenyan Beast for more unapologetic black commentary. Drop your thoughts below. Peace out.